We're going to look down at ace-jack offsuit from the hijack position in this 1-2 home game, so we're gonna bump things up to $15. I know it's a big open, but there's been a lot of callers and limpers, so we're gonna use the size. The player in the big blind is now going to bump things up to 45 bucks. Honestly, I've never seen this person 3-bet this entire game, and we've been playing for 4 hours, so I'm 99% confident we're against a hand like kings, queens, or ace-king, and I think we can get him off of his hand if the flop is very wet and dynamic. But look at that, the flop is jack-jack-deuce. I mean, I cannot be loving my spot more than this, especially when my opponent leads into me for about 45 bucks. I kind of fake tank and give it a call. And now the turn comes a blank, it's the 8 of hearts, and now my opponent puts in 100 without thinking too much. Here I'm 99% confident he either has kings or queens, maybe the occasional aces. I just know they're not really folding to a jam here, right? Like my opponent has 50 behind, I just put all of it in, and my opponent snap folds? I mean, I'm kind of confused. I thought he would just get it in with any kind of overpair. And then after this hand, my opponent lets me know that he had the ace-king and he was trying something frisky with his hand. We're going to scoop up a big one right off the bat. We're going to look down at the beautiful pocket tens. The player in the hijack opens the pot for about $12. It folds all the way to us, and happy to put the 3-bet here from the small blind to up to 45. Now my opponent looks at his cards, thinks, and 3-bets to $110. I never really think this is a bluff. The worst hand he's going to be doing this with is ace-king, but happy to give action because, again, for the same reason, we can probably get him to fold in a very wet flop. And unfortunately, this time is going to come 9 king 5 rainbow. We quietly check our hand, our opponent jams, and we're going to give the insta fold because this is never a bluff. Right, the worst hand we're going to be against is ace-king, and I cannot just be calling to face ace-king in that spot there, so well played. Next hand, we're going to be in the cutoff with queen deuce of spades, and before we go in the comment section and say, well, why are you opening with queen deuce of spades from the cutoff, I have an observation about this table. So what I've realized is people are very under 3-betting. Using the position, I can take down a lot of pots because everyone is playing super inelastic, which means they're going to be playing their hands more close to face up, and I can use these gigantic sizes to get them to fold. We go to the flop with the under the gun limper, and the flop is going to come 10-10-3. Here, as I would do with all my range on a pair board, after the under the gun limper checks it to me, we're going to be using a small size to continue. And the reason I'm using a small size with my weaker here and the big size with my stronger is, like I said, they're inelastic. Now the turn is a deuce, giving us a pair to go along. When we're checked through, we're still going to tell the story that we have a good hand here, and we're going to go for 15. A couple of reasons. We're going to want to polarize, and when we get snap called, I don't like the spot. And the river is another 3, pairing the board, so essentially we just have queen high here. I don't know what I could get to fold here, except just to air, and to get 2 air folded, we should not use a big size where I'm gonna go for a very small size of 20 to essentially give him some rope to raise, because when he raises I can easily fold, and for anything weaker like a king high type of hand, but we get snap called and I get shown the bad news that he has a 3. I'm glad I use a size here because essentially this is what's gonna make the most money in the long run, or we can just check and give up. That's the other option, I believe. We play this game called Pineapple Poker, and if you don't know what that is, everyone gets dealt 3 cards and they discard 1 in order to start the game. And the game plays as normal Texas Hold'em afterwards. We're gonna wake up in the small blind with jiggities, and for Pineapple Poker, I mean, jiggities are not the best hand because people are gonna have a lot of high pairs, but we're gonna get frisky here, abuse the fact that this game is a pineapple hand, so people are going to be very tight and very cautious in this hand, so sometimes getting bluffy with big sizes is going to pay out a lot. We're going to open things up to about $13 over 2 limpers, and we're going to have 2 interested parties. The person in the big blind is just going to flat call, and the person in under the gun +2 is going to think, and they're going to put in the chips as well. Everyone else folds, and we're going to go 3 ways into the flop. It is ace king 5, and I'm already liking it here because when they just call me, they're almost always gonna have a weak ace, weak king, like hands like king queen or low pocket pairs. When it checks through and the turn is now, another 5. I think we're mostly going to be good here. As we grab chips, the person in the big blind is going to fold, and we stay heads up with the undergun +2. This person gets curious. He has told me he watched other people's vlogs, so he's on the more balanced side, and he's going to stick the call in. The river is going to be an innocuous 3, and honestly, I never think this person has a good hand here. There's an ace and a king, and it's a very dry board, so unless he has a strong ace and like king queen, it's impossible for him to contemplate a call. So we're just gonna dunk here for about 45. I mean, he definitely could have a king here, but that king cannot handle the pressure, especially in pineapple poker. You only see the snap fold, and we take this down. This new hand, we're gonna look at the beautiful 7 from the hijack position. Everyone folds to us. I mean, we're in a downswing at the session in this exact moment, so you're gonna see the short stack. We're gonna get furious before we top up right after this hand. I'm going to open this up to a size of 15. We're going to see the fold. We're gonna have one customer from the big blind. He just flats our raise, so we're going to be going to flop with $30 in the pot. Flop is going to come queen 9-7 rainbow. Look at that. Now we are going to be really excited about this pot. When my opponent checks to me, I'm going to go for my standard size of 1/3 to half pot ish. We're going to blast off $12 here, and it's amazing when I see my opponent reach for raising chips. He raises to me for about half of what I have in my stack. I can't really count the raise, but I'm just gonna ship it all in here because the board is wet enough where he could be drawing to a straight, or he could just have an overpair. He's not gonna put the money in later streets, so I just want to get all the money in right now. I just put it in. My opponent doesn't like it. Here's the clip.
Another drink?
1-4-2. All in and a drink.
Potentially a buy-in too.
That is what he's gonna want. Wow. I'm not expecting that. All in and a drink.
I mean, he covers me, right?
No, 142.
142.
He's doubled up.
I just start. I mean, that's no, I'm saying heavier. I mean, like, I feel like this is a fold, but like, I also can just call because I feel horrible for sucking out on you in 2 boards.
No.
Well, it is.
Wait, if I call,
You're live. You're live.
If I call, would you run it twice?
Sure.
Cool.
I have a set.
You have a set?
Set
Yeah.
versus a straight draw. Okay.
I mean, he's gonna suck me out twice.
Pause. Jack. Vote.
That's me.
Yeah. That's a new hot hand.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Quads.
Unfortunately,
We're gonna win this one. Always good to scoop up double boards. If you realize my opponent's talking about sucking out on me real bad, I'll show you why my opponent's feeling bad for not putting in the money, because one hand before this happened.
Call.
all in and a call. It's gonna be 103.
Is the stream on? Is the stream on?
Kings. Kings versus Jacks.
Let's go. Let's go.
On the flow. All right.
Twice?
2 times?
Yeah. 2 times.
2 times for the stream. Diamonds are live, and we're gonna have a bomb pot next hand. Diamond is live.
Diamond's live.
Pair the board?
No pair. This one's him.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna chop. The king of diamonds.
No jack. That's fine.
Yep, you can hear the frustration in my voice. I got sucked out on overpair situation twice. I think it's about like 3.5–4% chance there, maybe lower actually, because he's killing his own outs. You gotta love the game. With it's good and bad. So props to my opponent putting the money in and winning, coolering me twice. This is my favorite hand of the night. As you can see, our chips have grown bigger, and you gotta love live poker because I do a lot of talking, I do a lot of convincing, I do a lot of soul reading in this hand. So let's get into it right away. We're gonna raise things up, and as you can see, we're a little bit tired here, even break the chips. The person to our left is going to call. We're going to go to a flop of 7, 8, 9 all spades. Now here, we're just going to check with our entire range, and this player bets. When he uses the size of 15, I know he has a good hand that wants protection, right? So flop is 7, 8, 9, so he could have all the sets, he could have all the 2 pairs, he could have an already made straight. We're just going to give it a call. Turn is going to be the 4 of diamonds, doesn't change anything. It goes check, check. and the river peels off an offsuit queen. Now, I want to bet it and take it down, right? Because if my opponent has one of these strong hands, I need to be betting here, and I need to be betting big. The issue is, I misjudged the size of the pot, and I bet a bit small. So I start talking to get some information. Come on, what are you waiting for?
Hold on. Easy there, easy there.
He's like, fuck, he actually asked something. 7-8, his range. I'll let
That's what you think I have?
No, I'm thinking like you. 7-8, my range.
Is your range.
Yeah. I'll
Does 7-8 beat you?
When I just bring in the 7-8 conversation, and it should be my range as a 2-pair, my opponent gets stuck to those 2 cards and mentions them like 5 times. So I'm pretty sure he has a 7-8 here for the 2-pair. I know he's contemplating a call. I realize I went for a smaller size, so we gotta do some tricks at the table to get this opponent to fold and watch what I do. What?
7-8 beats you, or that's what you
I got
said?
flush.
Oh,
You can pay $20 to flip 1 card over.
Dude.
Right now. You can pay $20.
Tomfoolery. What's going on?
You can pay $20, flip 1 card over. You pick.
Yo, where did you find this guy?
Chinatown, baby.
I found him.
Found him in Turkey.
$20. My card is valued $20.
Oh my god.
I would take the deal.
Exactly, right? Make an extra 20.
Yeah, it's funny. Alright, you wanna know what? I think I might just call the 40.
My opponent wants to go really bad, so it's time to give him a discount. If he flips over the king of spades, I don't think he's ever calling. Whatever, you want.
Why would I pay 20 and then...
No, because you can fold. If you pay 20, okay, I'll make it cheaper. 10.
10, dude.
10.
10 is a madman.
No, 10. No, 10 to C1 card. You gotta give it to me. Pick one.
Oh shit. There's no way I let this guy talk me into this. It's a fucking spade! Oh man. No, I actually do think he has the other spade in now.
Don't say it.
Why would I want to show you a card if both are spades?
I made it cheap for him. If it's
Let's let him figure it out.
sure, make him lose money so he'll get mad. He'll call you at night. He'll be like, "What the fuck you make me that call?"
Can we see your hand?
Yeah.
You can see it?
No, yeah.
I mean, you can see my hand too.
I think you got
It's alright. Take the fucking... I knew I would pick this spade. I was like, you know...
That's crazy that you fucking picked that.
That is going to be on the... That, ladies and gentlemen, is the true adrenaline in live poker. I mean, I think it was a good read on my end that I understood my opponent had a 2-pair there and went for the mind game that I had, but that's the beauty of live poker. You gotta love it. On to the next hand. We're gonna look at Jack Deuce offsuit on the button. Because of this game is playing super light and I've won a lot, I've been running hot and I want to give action, we're going to bump things up with this hand. Because in the button we have positioned, we can exploitatively play this hand against many other players, and we're gonna go to a flop 3 ways with me, the person who I just ran a trick on, and one other person to my right. The flop is going to be King 9 Deuce, and the person in the big blind is going to lead out for a big size of 18 here. We're just gonna make the call. We have a pair and we have big hopes. And bink, the turn is a deuce. My opponent's never expecting me to have a deuce. When he checks this one, I put in 25, and when he calls, it's music to my ears because I just think he has a king. River is a 4, completing essentially nothing. And here I want to get all of it, right? I just bluffed this opponent. He's going to be very call-y in this situation. He doesn't want to get bluffed again. I just rip it in, and he gets mad at me for talking. He tanks. I'm pretty sure he's calling because I know he has a king here when he uses this size on the flop. I've seen him use big sizes when he has a pair. He tanks. He decides he doesn't want to make the vlog again on the bad side of things, and he's just going to throw his cards on the muck. Big props to him. He doesn't get caught to his emotions and does a disciplined fold. We were in this game for about $600 and out for this much right here, locking up a $675 profit. And you can see the game stats here. We'll play for about 7 hours. This was a very friendly and nice game, very loose. This is not what we would do in a casino, but it was a lot more tighter than on my last video where there were drinks involved. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate if you subscribed and liked the video, and tell me in the comments what I did wrong, what I could have done better. Some self-feedback. I should be using bigger sizes when I'm bluffing, right? Like these people, they were easy to get to fold. Actual game where people get more curious, I need to be using bigger sizes. And next video, we're gonna try that and see how that works out for us.